So let me tell you a story about my mornings. I'm out here walking around, getting a little early morning sun. Just like you, I wake up every day asking myself some questions. There are certain things we all do when we first wake up, right? We don't have to ask whether or not we're visiting the bathroom, grabbing some water, and at least for me, brewing some coffee. Those are absolute givens. No, for many of us, the questions circle around this. Should I exercise today? And if I decide to exercise, what should I do? Should I do some cardio, like going out for a run or jumping on my bike? Or should I strength train? Or do something else? And if you're like me, and you are, what are the factors that determine what you do? Do you have an agreement to meet some training partners or some friends? What's going to be more enjoyable? Chapter 18 of my book, titled Exercise, the Struggle is Real, I discuss the difference between need and should. I could have added want to the mix also, because what we want often supersedes what we should or need. When I started running in my 20s, just like you, I never thought once about muscle wasting. That thing I talk about in the book, referred to in clinical circles as sarcopenia. Hell, when you're in your 20s and 30s and 40s, no one ever thinks about losing muscle. So all I did was run and run. And over time, I built up my endurance and speed and achieved a higher level of aerobic fitness. Now that I'm in my 60s, though, things have changed in a big way. I know that if I don't work hard to maintain muscle, it's going to go away at faster rates with each passing year. And on top of that, I know that my ability to enjoy life and be able to physically do whatever I want to, keeping all my joints and avoiding arthritic pain along the way, I need to think a lot more about muscle wasting than I did when I was in my 20s. Which brings me to my point. There's a continuum we all experience throughout our lives. This continuum reflects the very real changes that happen to you and me and everyone else as we age, if we don't do something about it. When we're young, we can do cardio all day long, run mile after mile, or ride our bikes to our heart's content with no real fear that we're losing muscle. But as the years pass, you and I, we need to do something to keep muscle. If we don't, we won't be able to do that cardio or anything else for that matter without a whole lot of joint pain and needless suffering. After all, when it comes to moving as we age, nothing happens easily without muscle. Nothing. So over the course of our lives, that continuum needs to show a gradual increase in the percentage of strength versus cardio. I'm not talking about should or want here. I'm talking about need. For me, I've taken this continuum, this inevitable shift to losing more muscle as we age, to help me make that morning decision much easier. And what is it? Most days of the week, I'm strength training. When I was in my 20s, I ran almost exclusively and fit in strength work whenever it was convenient, if at all. Now that I'm in my 60s, I strength train almost exclusively and fit in running and biking 3 or 4 times a week. In other words, the percentage of each has shifted because it needs to. And there's something absolutely beautiful about this shift, because making strength my priority means I look and feel younger. I'm literally stronger now at 63 than I've ever been. And that strength gives me the opportunity to go out and do whatever I want to, whether it's to ride or run or hike or spend all day walking around Disney World, whatever it is, anything. I believe you'd be smart to think about this continuum and what you're deciding to do when you wake up. Sure, a walk or a bike ride is great. You're moving. That's a win. But as time goes on, it won't be enough. Neither keeps you from losing muscle. And it's the muscle that's going to give you the freedom to enjoy life right up until your last day. So, strength wins most days of the week.